Hey folks, Tack with AOK Foraging and Adventures with
Bearded Seabee 82.
And Brenda.
And Willie.
So, I got tagged by BeerBellied Travelers on 11 question tag. So I was gonna tag BJ anyways, so he's just gonna go ahead and do this with me. And since Brenda's with me all the time, she's gonna answer some questions
To
too.
you guys.
And since we are so appreciative that Willie is with us, he doesn't have a channel, but he knows a lot of us.
I have 9 subscribers though, and I've never put a video up.
Woo! That's better than some, man. That's better than some. So, we are going to do the questions first, and then we'll tell you guys who we're tagging later. So, are we ready? We're going to start with the birthday boy over here, and we'll work our way around. So, do you prefer to go on a trip alone or in a group?
If it's with you gals, with a group, Willie, obviously always invited. Sometimes you just kind of need that peace of mind where you might need the solo trip, but it really depends on company, and company never hurts. And Jeremiah Jewell is one of those ones that might join us from time to time, so yeah, I would say with a group is always good.
For me, it all depends on my mood. If I'm sick and tired of the social life, then it's alone. But 99% of the time, it's with good friends like this.
Especially Brenda.
Because I'm married to her.
No, I agree. With a group, small group, like our group, it's just been awesome hanging out with you guys, you know. So I say with a group.
I say it depends on what we're doing. Sometimes it is nice to get out and just clear your head and spend the night or a little bit of time by yourself to reboot, and then it's always nice to sit around and socialize with people because everybody's done enough different stuff and has different knowledge on different things, and it's always interesting.
Yep.
All right, so since this is my video, round 1 is done. Everybody take a drink, thank you. All right. Question number 2. What has been your most challenging trip or hike to date?
Thanksgiving weekend 2000, Big Sur, the Sykes Hot Spring hike south of Monterey, California. Was very, very much in shape for the hike. However, was very, very, very well not prepared for said hike. There's only so much you can do with a wool blanket and a very small tarp, especially when the temperature drops to below freezing, and you freeze your butt off, and about midnight that same night you wake up because you're shivering so hard you wake yourself up, and partway through said hike your mag light burn out, your mini mag light in particular, and you drop the spare bulb that would happen to be inside of it and lost your spring. And yeah, that turned out to be a very, very, very self-educating hike, and since then I've always carried a minimum of 5 or 6 sources of light with me. So yeah. Sykes Hot Springs, Big Sur, 2000, Thanksgiving weekend. Courtesy of being stationed out there. Beautiful hike. The next day, walking back through, many, many blisters later, and you find out that, hey, 700 feet down was the ravine, just about 6 feet from the frickin' hike trail itself.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, Sykes Hot Springs, awesome. Everything else in that trip, a complete blunder, but you figure it out for yourself, and so that would be that one for me.
Well, mine would be the, I was at a survival camp in San Bernardino Valley. Now, when we went out, it was 90 degrees, so I, of course, had my shorts, my t-shirt, thinking, you know, hey, I have my tarp and everything. just went out. I'm enjoying my hike. Boy, the temperature dropped like crazy, and
About
then
like 45 degrees
yeah.
at night.
So you're going from 90 to 45, and boy, I was not prepared. So that, needless to say, I did not sleep that night at all because I was freezing. I mean, you don't think 45 is freezing, but when you are not prepared, it is freezing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll.
Well, for me, I haven't been outside of Iowa hiking. Born and raised here, so. But a couple hikes that we have been on. One is Woodburn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good hike.
Yep.
There's 5-6 trails.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're pretty brutal.
Yeah, we camped out there when it was really cold.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really?
really cold. Yeah.
That we did.
Yep. Your turn, sir?
Mine was when I was in high school. I was in Boy Scouts, and we hiked Longs Peak in Colorado. That mountain has rocks in it bigger than a pickup, and you go
Oh, my
over it.
God. Oh, wow.
It's
Much bigger.
beautiful mountain, tallest mountain in Rocky Mountain National Park. Absolutely beautiful. It was rough. We camped above the tree line in Boulder Field, and made me and 2 other people made it to the very top. Very rewarding, but it was a climb. It was definitely the most strenuous I've ever been on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
August is awesome that time of year out there.
So, 2's done.
I might be drunk.
All right. So, what is the most beautiful sleeping place so far?
The most beautiful sleeping place I've had so far? There's this little bitty pond between, well, it's just past Centennial in Wyoming. I would compare it equal to some of the places in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And I've camped out there, and you're up there 10,000 feet, but at the same time, well, obviously better prepared at that point in time in life, but I would compare that area of the Rockies equal to the Cascades as far as nighttime sleep goes, just due to the right off the road. You don't have to walk but 50 yards, set up camp, and have a nice little bitty trout pond, and then a creek just down from that you listen to all night long. That little bitty pond, which I forget right off the name, right off the top of my head, the name of that pond, but just having that right there, you wake up, you got the pond right in front of you, and then you got the little bitty creek beside you that feeds into the Laramie River, and that is a very, very beautiful, serene, calm place to just relax. And you got the creek that sings you right to sleep.
Awesome. For me, I'm not going to pick one spot because anytime I'm sleeping outdoors, it is beautiful to me. So as long as I can see the stars, breathe the fresh air, it's just it. That's all for me. I mean, as long as I'm outside, it's beautiful.
She will snore like none other.
You.
Well, same thing. Still haven't been anywhere other than Iowa. But the camping that we've done, especially in Woodburn.
But you did like the trip to Wisconsin. You thought that that cabin was really nice, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that, yeah.
Oh, I've
So-
been invited to later on. Anyways.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to say right here. Country prepper Jeremiah Jewell and I camped here 2 years ago, right here at this very spot. My spot was right down here by the pond. Woke up looking out over the pond, starry night, absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
Awesome. So, what outdoor activity do you do during the winter?
Well, I hunt or I fish, and when it's days like today, when ice fish and catch a really good bass, and well, especially when you have somebody to cook it up for you, that's really good. Which I do appreciate. Everybody else appreciated it. It was
Oh yeah, it's
really
all gone.
Yes, the bass is all gone, so it was very, very rewarding. Ice fishing, hunting during the winter. Other than that, just sitting inside like everybody else watching YouTube. Everybody else doing the same thing.
He took your answer. He took your
did.
answer.
But he can still use it because we're all going to use it. Because if the weather's too crappy,
Yeah.
you
You
just,
do what you can.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yep.
sit
So
inside.
I'm with BJ. We always hunt in the winter. I more than my wife, but I always hunt in the winter, and I ice fish when I was younger. She's my good reason to come back to ice fish. And today, BJ caught a really nice 1 3/4 bass, 14 inches long, and my wife caught a 10-inch bass. We didn't weigh it for some reason, but anyways, and then we did cook it up. So you know what? Wintertime, just hang out with friends outside. That's my answer.
Yeah, same thing. The fishing, hunting, camping, anything that we can do to get outside is always best.
It's been fun.
I hunt, trap, fish, camp, hang out, snowmobile,
Watch YouTube.
watch YouTube. Depending on how bad it is, I've camped outside below zero before. It used to be a lot more fun than it is now. I'm getting older. All the creeks don't go out near as bad. The cold bothers it a little bit more, but I love camping out in the winter in a snow pile. Hopefully,
We've got
I'll
heaters
get
for
some
that
more done.
nowadays.
Hopefully, I'll get my wood stove built, but that's beside the point. But it'll be that much more
You
fun.
get the steel. I got a welder.
So do I. I've got two and a torch.
There you go.
I say I have a torch and a welder. I can fix anything.
Aren't we supposed
I have
to
duct
drink?
tape.
Yep.
All right. Oh, we forgot to take a drink before. We'll take a drink now.
Oh.
Oh no, BJ's out of beer.
Since you was
Yep.
my new favorite Southern word.
You might
sensuous.
bring that whole thing over here. I think we're getting low here.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. All right. So
I don't
next one.
know.
Have you ever seriously been hurt in the outdoors?
Luckily, no. Luckily, closest I've been being to hurt outdoors, I was with Uncle Sam, so we were medically ready. Everything else, outside of the plausibility of that one first hike out to the hot springs, which learned a lot from a couple of buddies later on that were serious hikers that did the same hike with them afterwards. Thank God, no. I mean, outside of your normal boo-boos, cuts, scrapes, nothing different that wouldn't require more than Band-Aid and freaking Bactine. Been lucky. Thank goodness. So,
Well, for me, I was hiking and fishing, and I was in the water, so my boots got wet. So I take my boots off, and I decided to wear my sandals for the hike out. And sure enough, I cut my foot, and it was bleeding so bad. I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to hike out with a cut foot at the bottom of my foot. So I took my fishing line, and I took my hook, straightened out my hook and flattened out the end as much as I could, and I sewed 4 stitches in my foot to stop the bleeding so I can hike the close to 10 miles back out. And, well, I didn't bleed to death, and I'm here. So that was my most serious injury, but I took care of it by my homemade stitching. And you?
Well, for me, couple things. Yep. one, I stepped on a nail running outside and playing as kids that we do. And, yeah, remember that. Stepped on a nail. And Dad took care of me for that one. And then I was about 7 years old when I was playing Christmas time, playing on the pond, and fell through. So, that's,
And yet she's still ice fishing with us. That takes a lot of guts.
Well, she's here. No, it's a number of years later, but she's still ice fishing with
Yep.
us, and that does take some balls.
Yep.
I had a couple things. When I was a kid, kindergarten, we had a big sledding hill. My uncle had a party. The ice watered it down. It was a beautiful hill. Super fast. Crashed a sled. 4 stitches above my eye, 4 stitches below my eye. The ER doctor about got punched in the face because he come in and went poof and opened my eye and made me cry.
Jesus.
Dad about knocked him out. Funny thing is, his name was Dr. Payne, actual name. Have no idea if he's still in medicine or not, but it was
I
funny.
still got
And then the one time we were trapping, fell through the ice with rubber boots, half mile from the house. By the time I got home, my coveralls were froze. My feet went from numb to hurt. My feet still have a hell of a time keeping warm sometimes, but it's better now. It was close.
Wow.
When you took a shower and your feet burned because of the water so hot and the rest of you thinks it's cold, you know it was a little cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was close.
I've been
That
there a
was
couple
close.
times.
All right. Oh, take a drink.
Oh, yep.
Do you practice any survival techniques?
Do I practice any survival techniques? Well, love my ferro rod. Left it at home today. Long story short. But today, we have this lovely pile of fat wood,
Oh, yeah.
thanks to this guy. Right over here, that we've been collecting all day long, and every little bit of it smells awesome. So, and outside of that, survival techniques, well, the military only does teach you so much outside of certain other specialized courses, regardless if you're Seabee, mainstream or not. So, well, if it's Jeremiah, then we know we're good. Outside of that, it is what it is. So you have fun, you do what you do, and the best thing that I think is to have fun with friends and practice your skills. Even if you're practicing them by yourself, you're still at least getting out there. So, yeah, granted, I've had some boo-boos in the past on the outdoor side, but you live and you learn.
Well, I do practice survival skills by the name of my channel, A-OK Foraging. I do a lot of foraging, and I continue to read, I continue to learn, and I continue to write things down all the time.
Just
Because,
like a 7th grader.
yep, gotta know what you can and cannot eat. You don't want to eat some wrong stuff. So,
well, for me, just kind of still being new to all this, I do like the ferro rod, starting fires without, matches or lighters or anything like that. So, and then testing out any of the equipment that we have, So,
I hunt and trap and fish and
yeah,
play outside. That's all practicing your survival skills.
that's so freaking
Yep.
true.
Camping.
Yeah. Okay.
If I
so,
was to learn something from trapping, I would.
we
Actually,
all would. We would all be calling Willie up for that. Yep.
Why? Because, well, you just look in the back of his truck and all that stuff's already
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
And it's like I talked to him about.
It's a mobile bug out bag.
Oh, and then some. It beats my truck by far. I mean, granted, yours might have a bow tie in the front. And, well, we all know how that goes, but no offense. But
Hey, it's paid for.
exactly. But you go ahead, you do your thing, and it's pretty fun.
All right, folks. So I'm gonna pause it here because I gotta change the battery, and we will be right back. Hey, folks. Sorry about the lighting, but we started losing light, sun setting before we realized because we were visiting with Willie's brother. So, anyways, question number 7. What do you think about a permanent bushcraft camp? BJ.
I like the idea of it, but then again, it also kind of envelops around the deal of availability. Some people may or may not have the availability to do that. And other people, it might be a part-time deal, whether it be, you know, freaking, you know, broomstick hung up between 2 trees, and you got to do what you got to do with the Harbor Freight freaking tarp.
Yep.
I mean, it comes down to how somebody wants to do what they got to do, in order to get the point across. And there's nothing wrong with that. If I had extra property to do that on, hell, I'd have a whole frickin' cabin. I mean, I wouldn't blame somebody for trying to do something cool, but you got to do what you got to do, and availability, if it's on public or private property, you know, really depends on a number of things. So it's kind of an open question.
All right. Well, for me, I like to move around. I like different places. Yeah, I'd like to have a camp that I can come back to, but I still, I would like to have more than one. That's me right there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, if you have your own property and everything, it's cool to set one up and maybe move on and have some more spots to go to. So,
I think it depends on. I definitely have one, or I've built one. I'm working on building more than one, but there's so many different styles, and if you listen to certain people, you can only use certain things and build them certain ways.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm more of a scavenger than a bushcrafter because I have no problem repurposing anything. I tore everything apart and put it back together I could since I was little. I have no problem taking something that you wouldn't think of and reusing it in a different purpose. I have several ideas on different things, and it'll happen maybe when I get more time.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's
Time.
Yep.
And the good thing is, the one that I have set up right now, I can get in any kind of weather, and my son and I can go sit out there and have fun.
Awesome.
Yep.
Take a drink.
Got a little bit left.
Is there not another one for you?
Oh, there are plenty.
Okay.
A few.
All right. Next question. What is your favorite recipe for cooking outside?
Favorite recipe for cooking outside? Clarified bacon grease. No water added to said bacon. Quite a bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic, and whatever you want to throw into that. Because why? Well, it's bacon for 1. 2, it's clarified bacon. 3, the no water added means limited processing involved. And 4, who doesn't like bacon? If you don't like bacon, outside of religious reasons, there's some issues in there because bacon rocks.
There you
Outside
go.
of that, like I said, some people have some other reasons why they won't. Understood. But
I question it even though, because it is bacon though.
Right.
It's pretty much.
It's
the
reasons,
Iowa
but-
national beef.
There you go.
So it's the Iowa national meat. What do you
There you go.
use? Bacon.
Bacon. Yep.
Won't
So-
disagree entirely.
For me, it's anything on a fire. Anything on a fire. I mean, you could take the worst recipe, and I think it would still be edible on a fire. So, you?
Oh yeah, that's like earlier this year I tried my Parmesan potatoes for the first time on a fire.
Oh,
And then we went back and I redid it, and this is the first time I did it with you guys. I was afraid to cook it over the fire.
oh no, it was awesome.
And the second time I thought was even better.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd love to do that again.
Me too.
I like making all kinds of weird stuff outside because it screws with people's heads. I cooked a cake in a cardboard box. We've cooked pineapple upside down cake in a Dutch oven. I have cooked absolutely pretty much anything and everything you can cook in a house outside, and has had fun doing it every bit.
There you
Awesome.
go.
Yeah, good.
All right, take
Best
another
answer.
drink.
Cheers.
All right. This should be pretty easy. How do you motivate yourself in bad weather?
Same way I would any weather. It's a mental mindset thing. Some people, they look outside. I'm standing today. Other people, they look outside and it's like, that's an awesome challenge today. Do I have the equipment to wrestle it? Which might be a yay or nay or a partial. And either way, one way or another, I'm going out there. So it really doesn't matter.
Yep. Same with me. My motivator is just getting out there. I mean, once you get out there, you're just gonna be fine. So just get out there. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I mean, with the right equipment for ice fishing, for example, first time this year, right equipment, I'm good to go. So, and it's a good challenge, you know, summer, winter, spring, fall.
I work outside every day, so it's just get up and go. I've deer hunted in 45 below wind chill, walking timbers. You dress for the weather, no matter if it's going to be hot, cold. My pickup tends to have coveralls and coats all year in it, because you never know if you need it to lay on underneath to fix something, lay under a tractor or whatever. Cardboard. I have it. I wear it. I've been outside in cold. I've been outside in weather I shouldn't have been. You just go. You just have to get stuff done. You just have to be positive.
Yep.
And productive.
All right, folks, we're really losing light fast. What would be your dream destination?
Dream destination? Alaska. Hiking, hunting, fishing, all in one spot, gold panning, all in one spot out there. I'd be a dead ass heaven.
Well, for me, it's the Grand Canyon. I haven't been there. I'd love to go.
Yeah, same here.
Grand Canyon?
Yep, Grand
Okay.
Canyon, would love to go.
I don't care where it is as long as I have friends and family.
Awesome.
It's always a good day.
Awesome. All right, last question is, what is your heaviest piece of equipment?
My truck.
My family.
Yeah.
Definitely my truck. Yeah, I got more stuff in it than people should. But it works.
Yep.
All right, so with that, let's take a drink before we tag you. Here we go.
Cheers.
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 All right. Oh boy, we are pitch black in there. They can't even see us anymore. But all right, I'm gonna let BJ tag 4. I will tag 4, and Willie and Brenda will tag 3 together.
All right.
Sound good? Or you guys don't want to tag? What do you want to do?
I don't have a channel. I ain't going to tag nobody. We'll let you guys tag.
Go ahead with your 5.
I will tag Skeet Jiu-Jitsu 2000. I will tag Jeremiah Jewell.
Country Prepper.
There you go.
The Mr. Country Prepper.
Yep, the only country prepper. I will tag Jason Williams. I will tag him. Now, another tag I will do will be, I will tag, well, I'll tag Van from Van's World, Van Elliker, because, well, he's got a lot of things he'd like to do. He's got a lot of things he does like to do. but I think there's a number of things he hasn't done yet that he would like to do. I will tag Van and 3, 4.
No, just 4. One more.
I will tag Plumpy E.
Awesome. All right, so I am tagging Lee from Lee Ralph, and I am gonna tag Penn Woodsman,
Oh, he's a good guy.
Grizzly Taco, Shovelhead 8,
Very good guy.
Kirk Miller. That's 5. Oh,
Yep.
we have to have 11. So then my last one, number 11, Scott Taylor. No, yeah, Scott Taylor. You're it. Tag. There we go.
Woohoo!
I will put all your links down in the bottom. Guys, have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks, BeerBellied Travelers, for tagging us.
Yep. Here's to ya.
Cheers!
Cheers.